INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Don't be afraid to take the baby steps. It's another day, don't forget, 'cause just a prayer away. Don't give up now, trust the process and keep learning. And if you need a friend, we're in this together, together, together. We're in this together, together, together. We're in this together, 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 together as a family in faith and melody.
Aloha and welcome back, everyone. I am Henry from Germany, and this is INCradio's Faith and Melody, where we have meaningful conversations and inspiring Iglesia ni Cristo original music. But as usual, I am not alone. Also joining me today,
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Jay from Australia, and we look forward to having you join today's conversation on our topic, Helping Made Simple. Now, we've all been taught to help others, but sometimes helping can feel challenging or overwhelming, like we don't have enough time, we don't have enough energy or resources. But what if lending a hand could actually feel lighter? So, in today's episode, we'll talk about how caring for ourselves and keeping our lives in balance can make helping others simple, natural, and even fun.
so before we get started with our conversation, let's get the show started with the first song on our playlist. We'll be listening to Hope in God's Grace. So stay tuned with us.
As days pass, the more I yearn for us to be in the true home that God made for you and me.
'Cause we're both tired of problems in every corner that makes life in this world harder.
Let's not lose hope, for it's drawing nearer. The joyous moment for us, His nation, the promised salvation. Put our hope in what's ahead, in all of His great promises, in the grace that will be ours. Put our hope in the grace that will be ours. Put our hope in the grace that will be ours.
Put our hope in the grace.
Put our hope in the grace that will be ours. Will be ours. We wait for His Son's return. Let's promise to be brave. Don't be afraid. Whatever trials you and I face, don't let our hearts be
His great promises.
Put our hope in what's ahead. In all His grace, the grace that will be ours. The grace that will be ours. In what's ahead. In all of His promises. In the grace that will be ours. In the grace that will be ours. In the grace that will be ours.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of our viewers. This is Henry and Jay in INC Radio's Faith and Melody, where it is currently 12:07 a.m. over there in the Philippines at our main studio. So, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat, everyone in the Philippines who is tuned in watching very early this morning. And now later on in the show, we will be exploring and discussing how caring for ourselves helps us care for others with ease. So that and more on today's topic, helping made simple. But before we dive into our main discussion, as always, let's first begin with our kickoff chat.
Our another word is titled Life Storm. Let us know if it's something that you're willing to take up as a
Kickoff chat.
Yes, so for today's kickoff chat, we're asking the question, since our topic today is about making helping simple. If you had a personal assistant to help you with just one everyday task, right? What task would you choose to have them do? So if you only, of all the things that you do each day, they could only do one thing. So what would that task be that you would give to your personal assistant? If you had one, let us know there in our live chat. And hopefully this can get our brains started when it comes to thinking about how to make helping simple. But yes, hello to everyone there in our live chat. Let's give them a quick shout out first as they're typing their responses, Henry. So who have we got over there in our live chat at the moment?
So in our live chat, we see some very familiar names. Mario Oka. I see Kuya John. Rod Kahayag, as always. We're gonna wait to see a great acronym today from Kuya Rod. So more and more are popping in. Priscilla Batan. This little time adjustment as we progress in our time, more and more will be popping in to say hello. But yeah, so we have a lot of common names and faces who are always starting off their week with Faith and Melody on the Monday. And so, to answer the question for the kickoff chat for me, if there was one thing I would like to have one task done every day, a task that a personal assistant would do. Nowadays I understand why it's so important to have a cup of coffee every morning. So it's a cliche answer, but if someone can make me a coffee every morning, that'd be great. It just gets my day going. I'm one of those people who I need that smell of the coffee, the smell of something boiling, that steam, and once I ingest a little bit of coffee,
It
I just
wakes
feel
you
so
up.
much better. But waiting for that water to boil, I have to do it myself in the morning. My wife and I we help out with the kids, so there's so much stuff going on every morning. But if I could get one assistant to do that for me every day, right up once I get out of bed and straight to the kitchen, I wish that coffee was just right there and ready. What about you, Jay?
I like that. I was thinking something along those lines as well, but more bigger. If I had a personal assistant that could do one thing for me, meal prepping, right? So I don't know if you've ever had to meal prep before, but basically you set aside your meals for the day. But basically, if I had someone that could just prepare and cook, because like I've had days where I just had to fend for myself and then cook whatever I could find. So if I had someone that could, I could tell them what I want for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks even, and then they would just prepare it for me and have it ready for all those times to save me a little bit of time, right? Having to prepare for those things. Maybe I could even expand that perhaps for the whole family, right? So at least you don't have to worry about that thing there. And at least it's not just those microwave ready meals. a little bit more nutritious. But if I had a personal assistant, that would be one of those things, right? Because everything else I kind of enjoy. But yeah, that's it for me. Definitely. I can see some of the comments there in our live chat. Let's go ahead and read a couple of them out because I saw our executive producers, Faith and Melody, Des Asenas is there saying cook food, and Kuya John there from Central Europe Heidelberg cluster. Hello to Kuya John. He says cook for me as well, right? So I think cooking is one of those things that takes up a lot of time. At times it's enjoyable, but it does. Sometimes you think that you could do something a little bit more, right, Henry, when it comes to cooking. But I see a couple more names there. So do you want to give them a quick shout out as well?
Yeah, so shout out to more as they start to pop in. Oh, I'm gonna read it backwards just because it's Central Europe. A little bit of bias. Elni Catalan, happy viewing from the district of Central Europe. I just saw that pop up, so I was a little excited. Glad to see you there. Sorry, more answers to some of the questions from Zenaida Novasteras. Task for me to get done: do my laundry. You know, yesterday or sometime last week actually, I spent half the day just doing laundry and I forgot how
Wow.
time consuming it is. It just takes so long. And when you have your children's clothes are so small and you want to fold it and you're so intricate with the folds, it took me half the day. I have two children. So for those larger families and those who do the laundry for, you know, 3, 4, 5 children and your spouse, I salute you. I mean, it's just so much time, so much a lot of time in the day just to do that, and you have to do that twice 3 times a week even. So I completely agree with Zenaida for doing laundry. I think I saw another answer from Kuya Rod, personal chef, and so in line with food, having a personal chef. uh for the dishes I make, it only takes about 30 minutes, but for those who make much more intricate dishes, they can take up to an hour and a half. Sometimes you have to let it marinate in the fridge for, you know, another 3 hours, and you go back and you bake it for another 2 hours. That is actually a great idea. Anything to do with food, when you're done with work or you're done with a project or a task, or you know, or you just wake up in the morning, like you said, it's just like to have food there, meal prepped, ready to go. You know,
Yeah.
so much time saved. So that personal assistant, wherever you are, if you work for free, I
Let's
hope
make
you're
it
watching.
happen.
You know, we can always hope for the best. Is there any more greetings that we can find in our chat?
Yes, we've got hello to Elaine Timbang saying greetings to us. Happy Monday, happy viewing, everyone. Greetings from District of Mediterranean. So thank you for tuning in. I see Elni Catalan. I think you might have mentioned that already, but hello as well. Happy viewing from the District of Central Europe. So yeah, that's we've got a lot of people that's popping in. So make sure you drop in your comments, say hello to us. Let us know where you're tuning in from, and join us as we're about to, when we come back, we're gonna get into our topic discussion. But Henry, before we get into that, I think it's a good time for us to wrap up our kick of chat segment there. Thank you to everyone that shared their answers, that participated. We much truly appreciate it. That's been today's kickoff chat. So let's have our closing bumper.
Our icebreaker is this live storm. Let us know if it's something that you're willing to take up as a
Kickoff chat.
So we'll take a quick musical break, but while we're waiting, we're going to listen to 2 more INC original music. First, it will be Battle Cry 2.0, followed by Michi Afureu, which means We Should Abound. So 2 more INC original music. Please stay tuned with us on Faith and Melody. We'll be right back.
might be inside the INC. Everybody say, I am gonna fight for the faith. 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 This is Battle Cry 2.0. I'm gonna fight for the faith.
Ma foi, luccerei per la fede.
試練に合えばいいの神の助けで乗り越えられる諦めないで愛を持って戦おう満ち溢れよ満ち溢れよ満ち溢れよ信仰希望の愛に満ち溢れよ満ち溢れよ満ち溢れよ信仰希望の愛に私たちの信頼と希望神様に置こうよ礼拝を忘れずに力と喜びを得るために選ばれたんだ完璧になるために使える時喜ぼうじゃないか神にふさわしくなるために満ち溢れよ満ち溢れよ満ち溢れよ信仰希望の愛に満ち溢れよ満ち溢れよ満ち溢れよ信仰希望の愛に
Trust in the Lord God's promise to us all. Trust even when things seem impossible. We are now inside our Lord God's nation. Continue to hope for our promised salvation. Continue in the unceasing work of faith in the promised salvation. Patiently wait, let's abound always in the labor of love with firm hope in the promise of our God. Because of our faith we continue to work. With love we continue on serving the Lord. Because of hope we continue on to strive for our Lord Jesus Christ will soon then arrive.
Doesn't just come from desire. It often comes from being in a good place ourselves. So let's dig into what it really takes to be ready to help. So our first question in our conversation is, why do you think helping others can sometimes feel like a burden? It can be heavy, it can be challenging, instead of a joy. So again, I'll repeat the question: why do you think helping others can sometimes feel like a burden instead of a joy? We all have a desire to help others. Uh, we always want to help someone out of a difficult situation. But as we said, it can sometimes feel like a burden. We may want to be in a more ready state ourselves before we can help someone else. So helping is always a great thing. We always think about ourselves. If we're in a hard situation, we would love to receive the help. And when someone does ask us for help, it's almost an automatic thing to respond with the most positive way of, it's definitely hard to say no to when someone especially someone you love, they're asking you for help and you want to be there for them. But to be honest, sometimes it can be a very challenging thing to do to help someone else. So Jay, what do you think? Let's see if you can answer the question first. So, why do you think helping others can sometimes feel heavy instead of joyful?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, like what you said, there's many times that we do our best, right? We get out of our own, get our own challenges, and we face and we help them with what in a whatever way that we can, because especially if there's someone that we care about, someone that is important to us. But there have been times for me, right? There have been times for me, if I can recall, especially when I was younger, and especially when I'm going through like when I was going through a very challenging and difficult situation. There's just a certain point that comes out when it becomes difficult to help others because you need help yourself. You know what I mean? It's like when you're going through something challenging yourself, and it's a really big problem for you. It's really overwhelming for you. Passing on extra encouragement or inspiration or whatever it might be to help somebody else doesn't come as easily. It becomes a little bit more challenging. It doesn't mean that you can't help others, right? I mean, I'm sure no matter what we're facing, we can extend a little bit of help to somebody else. But there are times when it can feel harder to reach out and help somebody else if you're needing help yourself. Like if you're going through your own challenges and you're not getting or not receiving the help that you were expecting, it's kind of like it's hard because you feel alone and you feel like there's nobody else that can help you. So that's one thing that I've experienced. It's like when it feels really really challenging. The other one for me, actually, in terms of that, because a little bit lighter to that, is because I'm a bit of an overthinker and I feel like I'm also a bit of a perfectionist at times. When somebody reaches out to ask help for a project or a video edit or something, my perfectionism kicks in, right? And I feel like I want to fix everything, not just the one little section that they need help on. So when it comes to that, uh, sometimes I see help more than just, oh, I just need help with this little thing. I see help as like, I have to fix the whole thing, or I have to take care of making sure everything works out perfectly. So that's a little bit on me, perhaps, but I feel maybe somebody else out there might feel the same way, where you put unnecessary pressure on yourself, thinking that the help that they're asking and the help that you want to give, even though it seems small, to you internally, you see the help as something a lot bigger, a lot more time consuming, requires a lot more resources than what is actually intended or needed, right? Because, yeah, your own internal monologue kicks in. It's like, oh, I have to fix this and this as well. And while we're at it, we might as well do everything like this, right? So it feels bigger than what it really is. So that's kind of like two areas that I've experienced when it comes uh, to helping, where it doesn't come easily, doesn't feel something that is joyful, but something like, oh, it's going to be a big task for me if I start helping with this thing. So, yeah, that's the one that I've realized that I've encountered, Henry.
So, and I completely understand that. So, when someone asks for help, first of all, you want to be in a state of readiness. So I completely understand what you're saying. But the reality is, when we map our day, we look at our daily planner, whether it be on our phone or if you write it down. You look at our planner and you have, okay, I have an 8 o'clock appointment here. I have a lunch meeting here. I have a appointment to fix my car here. A lot of times in our schedule, we don't say, uh, expect to be asked for help at this time because someone will have a flat tire, and help is never or almost never scheduled. Help is something that happens, or someone asks you for help at a time that the person who needs help didn't plan to ask for help. It was an unexpected circumstance. Oh, can you help me? I have a flat tire. Would you be able to come and help me and assist me? Oh, my toilet's not flushing. Can you swing by before you go home to help me fix my toilet? Things of that nature where someone just does not know how to do something. There is no convenient time for an emergency situation when someone's calling for help. So helping others just really takes time if you're the one being asked for help. That's the reality. Is it's such a meaningful thing to help someone because you're using time to help someone else, and time used is not, you can't retrieve it. You can't gain back that time. It's a sacrifice of the time that you're going to lose, and you can't gain back 30 minutes, that 1 hour, or if you're editing a video, helping someone edit a video, and the perfectionism in yourself comes out, and you take up even longer time to help them edit their graduation video or whatever it will be, then it's that time you gave it to that person who asked you for help. And so like I said, time helping people is almost never at a convenient time. No one plans for the unexpected uh, flaws of a design of like a car, like a flat tire, or the battery doesn't work and the car can't start. No one plans for those things, and it just happens. And so when ask for help, asking for someone to assist in that situation, they did not see that coming. And so it can sometimes feel heavy and challenging. Now, it doesn't mean that if you ask Henry for help, I'm going to be like, oh, no. It just makes it all the more, I think, it just makes it all the more, you're a loved one, you're a great friend of mine. I feel glad that you reached out to me, that I can help you out of your situation. As a family, when you're helping each other in a family situation, you help each other out, and that it's a sense of, well, I can really trust him. I can really rely on him to get me out of that situation. And it's a perpetual thing that when you have those who you can depend on to help you out of those difficult situations, and that's the I guess the silver lining, the bright side to that difficult time or that difficult moment is when someone rescues you like that, you're never going to forget it, because you know how much of a challenge it was for them to help you. And like, you know what? When next time I'm in that situation myself, I will help you out. I'm going to dedicate and give my time to help you with something that I know how to do. You know what? I'm good at computers. The next time you have a computer problem, I'm going to help you print, because I know you had problems with your printer, something to that effect, right? So that's what I think, and that's my response to that. I think we have a couple of answers coming in our chat, Jay.
Yeah, we do. We do. We also got a few greetings there. Hello, hello to Junoline Sarveda. Thank you so much for tuning in po. Saying happy watching mula sa lokal ng Wawa Distrito ng Marikina. So I believe that's in the Philippines. So thank you so much for tuning in. I know it's a little bit late there in the Philippines, after midnight, right? It's like 12:34 in the morning there in the Philippines. So good morning po. Thank you for tuning in with us. Zenaida shares with us here a couple of insights, a couple of responses. She says here, feels like a burden when people whom we help don't acknowledge you. So that's a reason, right, Henry? I think I've realized that as well. It's like when you extend help to someone, because like helping there's two ways. It's either somebody asks for help or you just give help to someone, right? But sometimes I think I get that. Like when it can seem like when you are giving help to this person and then they don't say thank you, they don't really appreciate it, and then you go help the next person, or you give help even though they weren't asking, but then they don't acknowledge that either, and then somebody asks for help but then they don't really acknowledge it. So I can get that sometimes not feeling appreciated for the effort, because like you said, right, helping is a choice. Helping is us spending our own time for another person. Helping is putting our own schedule out of the way so that we can help somebody else. And things that are important to us, we put that on the side so that we can help another person. So that's kind of like when they start to not appreciate the effort that we're putting, because that's what it is too, right? It's an effort to help someone. It's a choice and it's an effort, and it uses resources, it uses your own strength and whatever else. Yeah, it can be challenging when you're not getting appreciated, and you might feel like, you might internally think, why do I even bother? So I can get that. There's another one that Zenaida shares here. It's a philosophy for teaching children, helping made easy, a philosophy to teach children to help around the house by making chores fun and building life skills, which we'll get to, actually. We'll get to about that in terms of how to make helping easy, right? But another thing that I realized from what you said, Henry, was when it comes to helping, and I hope I don't lose this because I'm about to lose what I was trying to say. when it comes to helping someone, it's a choice, it's a decision. But sometimes what makes it difficult as well is if you don't have the resources to help someone, if you don't know how to help someone, and if you are sleep deprived, because there have been times like, we do our own thing, we do our responsibilities with the family and everything else, but when you're sleep deprived, when you haven't had enough sleep, right, and you're tired, and you probably are hangry because you haven't eaten, right, a lot of those things can hold you back from being able to go and extend help to somebody else, or give help to someone, or to give it happily with a smile on your face if you haven't eaten yet and if you're still sleepy. So that's a couple of things there. And Rod shares with us here as well. Maybe it feels like a burden sometimes because the one giving the help isn't really genuine with the act of kindness, or they feel like it's more like an obligation, which is another thing. We're going to get into that with the rest of our discussion, like kind of like the burdens that we feel when it comes to helping. And yes, Carolyn Shank is there with us as well. Kuya John also just commented here. It could feel like a burden when you extend a helping hand, but then they'll just rely on you to do everything. So it's kind of just like they fall on you for everything else. And yeah, that could be another reason, because you end up being the scapegoat, right? You end up being the person that they always go to, and they don't do it. So they always pass it on to you. So a lot of good points there that's probably going to come up with the rest of our discussion, Henry.
Yeah, and so that's actually a great transition. Your last response to it is that when you're not in that uh your best self. I always say arrested you is the best of you. And so there should be like a state of if you call it the baseline. If you have just enough food, you have just enough sleep, and you'll be in that state of be able to help other people. Which leads us to our next question. Um, when we're asked for help in different stages of life, different statuses, or different situations. So, in what areas of life do you think we need to be steady before we can easily help others? So, to be able to provide help to others, getting enough sleep, getting enough, having a meal, having a snack, being hydrated. You need to be in a certain state of mind. If you're not in the best emotional state, if you are, if let's say you're on holiday and someone's asking you for help and you're not even there. So, I mean, there has to be a certain condition before you can even be able to help someone. So I repeat the question one more time. In what areas of life do you think we need to be steady before we can easily help others? What's your initial response, Jay?
There's a few areas that I realized for me when it comes to being, that needs to be steady so that I can easily, right? I mean, it doesn't mean that you can't help anyone. The important thing to remember is that we can always help in a simple way. But when it comes to being steady in areas of life, I think life just needs to be balanced, right? When you're going through a ton of problems and life for yourself already feels heavy and difficult, it can be challenging, right? It can be challenging to easily give help, to easily extend help when somebody asks for it, when you're facing challenges and you're not getting any help from anyone, right? And then, you feel like you're doing everything yourself. You feel alone going through your own challenges and problems. And now somebody else is asking for more of your time to help them, right? So it could be difficult at that stage. I know for me, when I was going through a lot of challenges, especially when it came to, for me, it was the emotional state, right? Because it affects a lot. Like once your emotions are heightened, when you're facing problems and challenges in life, you become emotionally drained and even physically drained, right? Your emotions ties in a lot to how you're feeling. So a lot of people are just a wreck when they're emotionally drained with everything. So it becomes difficult to pour extra encouragement and inspiration to helping somebody else. So I know for me, when we were facing that time receiving that news when our daughter was diagnosed with autism, and then everything that we had to face, all the life changes, all the lifestyle changes and all the therapies that we would have to attend, and how things that we had envisioned is going to be different, right? And just, I guess, at that stage, looking back, they say hindsight is 2020. You don't realize at that when presently when you're facing it, um, the positives or the silver lining that we'll face, that you'll be able to get facing a new challenge, a new situation. All you see is the hardships, and all you see are negative things. So when you're in that state, it becomes difficult to extend help to somebody else, because you feel alone. You feel like you're in an emotional wreck. So that's one thing for me, like that we've experienced. And the thing was, when we experienced that, when we received that news and that diagnosis for our daughter, it was during the beginning of the lockdowns that happened during the whole pandemic, right? The COVID thing. So it was just at the beginning, we weren't able to have family support. We didn't see our friends, our family. We couldn't see them because we were all at lockdowns. If you even remember that, only a few years ago, it was really difficult. It was a tough time for us, and we just felt alone. And for you to extend help to somebody else when you're facing that yourself, yeah, it was difficult for me. But when that is balanced, when that's taken care of, when you're not going through such your own hardships, like really really cumbersome, it becomes easier. But it doesn't mean that you're not able to help, because we obviously helped each other, my wife and I, and we helped the families that we could, but it doesn't come as easily, right? But yeah, that's what I think for me that I've experienced. Actually, we've got someone that's just joined us, and I think she's ready. So I'm not. We might as well introduce her, right, Henry? Because she's already there, and we have our Ohana, our Faith and Melody family here on the panel joining us. Hello, hello to Belle. Hi, Belle.
Hi, Jay. Hi, Henry. And hi, everyone who's joining us right now on Faith and Melody. Um, Good Monday, everyone.
And that's a great transition because Belle is in school. She's prepping herself for the next part of getting a career, and before she can provide that career service, she needs to get her foundation in her career first, that education, that knowledge. And so that's a area of to be able to help others. You need that foundation, the all the prerequisites to help others. And so to continue on with that conversation even more, it's like put the visual to in order to be able to help others first, you need to put your own mask first, like they say on the airplane videos every time you're about to fly out. This is how you buckle your seatbelt, this is how you do this in the situation of an emergency. Be sure to secure your mask first before you help others, right? So to be steady to help others, really need to take care of yourself. You really need to be like Jay said earlier, there's like a baseline of being able to not be hangry. You need to be fed, you need to be rested, you need to be in a state of mind, an emotional state where you are at a level of balance to help others regain their balance. And when imagine you're not, imagine you're in a worse situation, you're hungry, you never ate anything, you're thirsty, you only had an hour of sleep, and you someone's asking you for help. That initial response, it's it's not going to be pleasant. It's You're not steady enough, and that person who's asking you for help, they they don't know your situation. They're just asking you, they see someone who can help them, and you're not ready. So to there really isn't a convenient time to be asked for help. So it's really all constantly taking care of yourself, being the best you could be at all times, I think, is what puts you in a position to be of value to someone who's asking you for help. And so self-care is a constant thing. I think Belle can agree with that it's always good to take care of yourself before you can attempt to take care of other people. Would you agree with that, Belle?
Yeah, because in that way, you'll be able to help them in a more efficient way. Like, you know how when you have your phone charged to the maximum capacity, then you'll be able to use it more, right? You have more time to use your phone, especially if you are traveling or you are navigating with your phone. it's best to have uh your battery charged. And as simple as that, that also goes for us as human beings. If we're not recharged by sleep, food, and rest, then we won't be able to function as well as we would like to.
Yeah, and so I mean, I just said it a few minutes ago that the arrested you is the best of you. So that's exactly what a full charge phone can do for you. Is you are more confident when you see your phone at 100% charge than when you're at 20%. You actually get a little bit more nervous, and when you start to use your app and your battery drains faster and faster, you get even more anxious. Definitely when my GPS is running and then it just gets lower, oh, I'm gonna get lost. So that's how that's the symbol for me, a metaphor of when you're at your best, whether it be you or the devices that you use. I know that's a metaphor for that when to be able to help others, you should always be taking care of yourself so that everyone else who surrounds you, um, they'll find value to the output that you provide, and both of you will be at a state of readiness again, helping someone out, and the feeling of helping someone out. It really just it provides a restoration to your mind that, hey, you know what, I did something good today. I helped someone out with their situation, and you feel ready to even to help someone out, another person out. I think we got a couple of responses, Jay, in regards to this question.
We do. Let me just quickly bring it up. Hello as well to Mario Calvello, that's there in our chat. Lani as well tuning in with us, saying happy Monday, Tuesdays, Faith and Melody Ohana. And of course, everyone else is there. We've got Kuya John saying here, mentally steady, mentally and spiritually steady, right? That's very important, which I totally agree, because a lot of those things, they intertwine each other. Like how you think, what your emotion is like, what your mindset is like, affects your spiritual, like all of those things, like who you are as a person. You need to be steady on those things so that you can be more in a state to be easily help other people. Speaking of the word state, Rod Kahayag shares with us the state of mind that you need to be in, one that is strong like this, and he gives us an acronym for STATE, which is strengthen to assist, this encourages, right? So it's very true what we've shared here. Your state of mind, your state of your how balanced your life is, like everything is okay, right? Nothing is pressing you, and nothing is testing your own patience and your own ability to handle situations. If everything is okay and balanced, it makes it easier to help others. So you really need to take care of yourself first, right? Take care of yourself physically. A lot of people out there, I know I have a couple of friends who really are so selfless of themselves. They don't take care of themselves. They're always giving, giving, giving to others. But you have to realize, like what Belle mentioned about charging your own batteries or your phone, right? You need to charge your own physical batteries. You need to take care of yourself. It's hard to help someone when you're sick, right? You don't want to be sick yourself. You don't want to be, you're not able to help to the best of your ability and, to your capabilities if you are sick, right? Or if you're sleep deprived, or if you're hungry, right? If you're weak, you need to take care of yourself, right? That's why it's very important. It's one of those things that we learned about, and kind of like what you said about the whole airplane announcement. Like you got to put your own mask on first before you help your seatmate, before you help the person next to you. So that's very, very important. So we've got a couple more comments there in our live chat. From our Ohana there, saying, Rod shares with us here, when you have God with you all the time, it'll be easy to help others. Do everything with love. He also adds, helping made simple is easy. Rely on God all the time, which is true, right? I think that's going to touch on the next part, but really we need our Almighty God to help us through our own lives, but it makes it easier to when you realize all the blessings that He gives you. So I like that. And he's got an acronym here, Helping Made Simple, for the topic title. Rod has his acronym, Helping Made Simple equals helping everyone and loving people. I need God more as distractions encroach Surely I'm more powerful. Love endures. All right. So I like that. I like that acronym. Back to you, Henry.
Yeah, that's a really great acronym. I try to make those acronyms, but when I see Rod do it, he thinks of words that I just forgot exist. So I like this the encroach, the word encroach. I don't haven't heard that word in a while, but he made it work with his acronym. But and to continue on with the conversation, now let's try to reminisce ourselves for our next question. Can you recall a time when you felt ready and it was easier to help someone? And what made the difference? And so a lot of times when help is being asked of us, it's almost always at a time when you don't expect it. It's a text message that you receive, it's a phone call that you get. We don't have in our schedules that at 10 o'clock in the morning someone's going to ask me for help. It'll come at a time that you don't expect it. And so the question is, can you recall a time when you felt ready and it was easier to help someone? What made the difference having been ready? So let's ask Belle first. Can you recall a certain situation or scenario uh, when you felt ready? Your battery was charged, and what made the difference?
I feel like there are some situations where I am able to help out more because I have the energy. But with me, I just filter out how important the situation is, how important, how urgent um, the help is needed, how urgently they need the help. So for me, when I feel ready, it's when, oh, I know I need to get that done, regardless of how tired I am or not. I feel like the readiness is a choice. I mean, there are sometimes some moments where, of course, if you're too tired, if you're running on 1 hour sleep and just water throughout the whole day, then that's where you should actually try and rest and, put that boundary for yourself where you should be taking care of yourself. But if there comes a time where, maybe you're not at 100%, but you know that you can still give that one last push, then that's where for me I am ready. And I think as long as you see the bigger picture of what you're doing or of what you're helping out with, then you'll be able to be ready for that help for that situation. So yeah, I know that it is easier when you're fully charged. It is easier when you have, I don't know, a car, if you have to drive someone. It is easier if you're stronger than someone that cannot lift like a couch, something like that. Of course it is easier and you feel readier because you already have acquired those type of skills. But um I know that for sure at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what resources you have, as long as you want to help, you'll find a way to help. If there's a will, there's a
Mm.
way.
I like that. It reminds me of something that I've heard before, where it comes about making sure that you look after your own garden first, right? It's very important that you water your own garden, make sure it's thriving. You look after yourself. It puts you in that mindset of readiness, right? I think it's very important that when we're talking about the word being ready, right, it requires preparation. And many times, life itself is preparation. Experiences, challenges, they give us the preparation we need to face things. And one of those things is when we experience challenges ourselves and somebody else is going through that or is about to go through a difficult situation that we've experienced, we know how it's felt like. We want to help them. We want to be able to save them, right? We want to be able to do a little bit so that we can help them get out of that tough situation because we know how challenging it is. So I think when you're in a state of when you're taking care of yourself, when you're taking care of your own garden, in other words, the things that's important to you is balance. Your life is balance, right? Your spiritual life, your physical well-being, your mental state, all of those things. If you're taking care of that, it becomes almost second nature to then be in a state of gratefulness, right? Gratitude, and then extend that blessing that you receive to somebody else that might need it. Again, helping is two ways, right? It's either somebody asks you for help or they don't ask and you just give it, right? Which it's whether it's one of the two, right? The most important thing is you yourself, the one that is the one that's going to give the help. You're in a state where you're able to give the help, right? So you got to take care of yourself. You don't forget that you're important too, right? What you are, what you need, that's important as well. So that's I think that's the main point that we wanted to bring out in this part, right? Is that you have to make sure that you are helping yourself first before you can continually, consistently help other people. Because if once you let go of your looking after yourself, then it's only a matter of time before your own battery, your own resources drops down and you're not able to extend any more help to others. So don't forget to look after yourself as well, and be happy and love yourself too. Take care of yourself. Yeah, and we've got a couple of comments, Henry, there in our live chat. Actually, we've got a few responses from Rod saying experience made it easy to help someone that needed it. That's when I felt ready, and it's true. Especially for those when I was younger, I didn't know how to help people. Like, they said, "Oh, just help," but to give help without being asked, sometimes you don't know what to do. So experiences, facing your own challenges, those things can help you learn what's needed and what someone might be all they need when it comes to helping. He also adds here, Rod shares with us, for me, even though I've experienced something, I still need help though. So it's true when even though we experience something else and we're experiencing it again or challenges, help is always appreciated, right? Helping someone move a couch is easier done with more than one person. I don't know if you ever had to move a couch, but or a fridge or refrigerator, but it's easier when there's more people involved. It makes the load lighter. Zenaida also shares here, when my friend asked me to drive her from the hospital, and luckily I had my driver's license already that time, and she allowed her to use the car. So it's true. Again, resources. If somebody's asking you to help to drive them, but you don't know how to drive, it kind of like makes it a bit difficult. It's like, I'll help you catch the bus or something like that. But yes, we've also got a few hellos there. Mario Cavella is there. Rachel Innocencio, right? Henry, I think you might know who that is, saying greetings to all the viewers tonight. Do you know?
I
Do you
have to
know?
meet her one day. I will meet her one day.
But yes, so we got a lot more comments coming, but thank you so much to everyone that's been sharing their comment there in our live chat. But actually, yeah, Henry, like for you, I don't know if you wanted to add anything else in terms of this before we go to our musical break.
I think that's state of readiness, though. I mean, whenever, let's say, someone has moved in to your neighborhood, your area, you get to know them, you become friends, and then one of the last things you say before you head on home is, "If you need anything, just let me know. I'll be there to help you." Or, that little statement in there already puts yourself in a ready state, and you're telling to the other person, "I'm ready to help you." And that's a given to anyone that you've come across with, your friends, your nearest family, people who your acquaintances that you've known for a long time, some of your neighbors even. If there's anything you need, just holler, give me a call, just knock on my door, I'll be there with you. Oh, can I borrow a cup of rice? And you're always in that state of readiness to provide any type of support. So I mean, ready or not, someone's gonna ask you for help, and whether you realize it or not, you've probably already said that statement multiple times to people. If you need anything, just let me know. I'll be there. I'll do the best that I can. I'll help you with that couch. But if you're gonna ask me to help you with the couch, give me a little bit of a heads up. Like, can you help me carry the couch? Oh, that in like 2 minutes. Like, I'm not ready. I just got home. I'm tired. So we always give the best help that we can with what we're able to do. We can't always foresee the times when people will need help, but help is something that you can provide when you are at your best. It won't be of much of a burden. It's a challenge. Help can also be an ability to become closer to the people who are around you, and it becomes more of a natural thing when we're constantly helping each other. Then we are always ready to support one another, and that makes us more united together, whether it be a community, whether it be within the faith, that helping is a constant. So that's my response to that. What do we have coming up next, Jay?
Yeah, so we've got a lot more to talk about. We're going to flip the script a little bit when it comes to helping. We've been talking about what makes helping difficult and challenging, the state of mind that we have to be in, or how we look after ourselves. But we're going to flip it around to making it a little bit more simple and making it easy for us to help others. So that's coming up in our next discussion. But before that, we're going to take a quick musical break. The next two songs that we'll be listening to is titled, the first one, This Greatest Privilege. And we have a song request. We have a Heartbeats song request, which is Now That Salvation Is Near, the Japanese version. So Sukiwa Chikazuku, I believe that's pronounced. But Henry, who requested the Now that Japanese song?
So that was Kuya John. There's a nice guitar solo in that. So yes, he requested that.
Yeah, so stay tuned. Enjoy these next two songs that we'll be listening to. And when we come back, we've got more to discuss about making helping simple. So Kuya Tech, take it away.
Photographs show us where we started and how far along we've come. Yes, it's clear we can see it. It's not hard to believe it. If we were on our own, it'd be impossible. But we have God on our side. Just as He promised His messenger, He is with us, will never be forsaken. Thanks to my Father, 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 thanks to my Father. Melodies flowing from our hearts, resounding in celebration. Can you hear it? Can you feel it? We are one winning side. Our salvation is near. Don't turn away from this blessing that we have here. Church of Christ, our God has given us this greatest privilege. He will save and answer us. We are His children. Memories fade away with time, but our faith remains so alive. For surely we'll forget the pains of yesterday if we press on and win the prize. We didn't come this far just to be disqualified. Stay right, don't give up the fight. Our salvation is near. Don't turn away from this blessing that we have here. Church of Christ, our God has given us this greatest privilege. He will save and answer us. We are His children. We are one with our Lord God and His Son. We are one with the leader. We are proud to be God's chosen ones. We are loved by our Father. There's no reason to fear. Don't be ashamed of this blessing that we have here. Our salvation is near. Don't turn away from this blessing that we have here. Church of Christ,
your requested songs, our favorites, Faith and Melody Heartbeats.
Once long ago, the word was conceived. Salvation was planned for those who believe. So God had chosen His people to glorify Him, but they did not hear His calling. They kept denying, then came the time. The plan must be done. Once was the Word became man. He lived among us and suffered the pain of living. He gave His life for the chosen. The curse was broken. Angels from heaven gave praise to all His wonders. He gave His eternal grace. He drew us nearer to all His blessings and unceasing care. And then He guided us through it all and promised us He'll always be there. 地の果てから来る神様の民は戒めに従い賛美歌を歌う。人に笑われたこともあったけれど、僕らは諦めないで使い続けて救いは近づく。信仰守って恐怖に立ち向かい、みんな輝け暗闇の中であっても神様の愛も常にくれる聖なる都へ。我らは世界を照らす明かり、御言葉を分かち合うために。Now that salvation is near, we must be stronger, ready to cast all our fears. Our light shines brighter than when the world seems so weak like the night. Realize that He's coming to save us all, give us eternal life.
This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Mark your calendars and be ready for another week of inspiring, honest, and thought provoking talk story on Faith and Melody. Tuesday, Helping Made Simple. Wednesday, Harmony with You. Thursday, Conversations to Connections. Friday, Together Through Hard Times. Tune in to INC Radio YouTube channel Tuesday to Friday at 12 midnight Philippines or Monday to Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific. On Faith and Melody, your family or Ohana awaits.
Okay, so we've talked about what makes helping challenging or could be difficult at times, right? But in this part of our discussion, let's flip it around and talk about the simple things that make it easy. So it's said that the smallest acts make the biggest difference. So let's share some of those stories. Share with us what's a simple act of kindness that either you've given to someone or someone has given to you that made a big impact. Love to hear a couple of stories there. For me, quite recently, just a couple of days ago, we had a friend that we hadn't caught up with for a long time. Organized to drop by. They brought some muffins over. We had a good afternoon of just chatting and catching up and talking and all of those things. And it was exactly what we needed to just be able to catch up with like a friend that we hadn't seen for a long time. You know, everyone's busy. Everyone's got goals and things that they're working on, and sometimes schedules don't align, right? But when they do, it makes it really, really. And it was so fun that we're actually doing it again today, right? For me, it's Tuesday already here in Australia, so a little bit later today, it's a public holiday, so no one's got work. Basically, they're gonna drop by again. We're gonna spend a whole afternoon cooking, eating, talking, and just watching watching movies. So it's going. I think just the simple things like that, just being able to catch up with a friend that you haven't seen for ages, and when it's just so fun to do, to catch up with them and to talk about life, just to talk about everything and how things are. There's something different about that, and it's like it's both. It's like when they're asking about you, when they're asking about your family, and then you're asking about them. It's just like it's not a one-sided conversation. You know what I mean? It makes it really, really. It makes it impactful to have that connection with someone. So that's something that I've experienced. But I want to hear from our Ohana that's joining us live right now. What's a simple thing that you've done for someone or they've done to you that made a big impact? Let's hear from Belle first here on the panel. Got Belle and Henry. Belle, can you share with us something?
Well, one of the simple acts of kindness that I've received recently is when I came over to my friend's house. So we were playing board games with our siblings, and in the meanwhile, I was making some matcha lattes for them as well. And at some point, I found myself like having to wash some dishes or some cups because like there were so many laying around. And my friend, since I came over to her house, she said, "No, no, no, don't do the dishes." But at some point, we were like, "No, I'll do it." And then she was like, "No, I'll do it." And at some point, we found ourselves doing the dishes together at the same time in the same sink. It was just really funny because I think she was like scrubbing the dishes or the cups with soap, and I was rinsing them. And the funniest part is our arms were intertwined as well. So like it was just like it was just a really funny scenario, and it's funny because our stubbornness, quote unquote, it just created a core memory and that simple act of kindness like was just was just so memorable, even though it just happened like a few days ago. For me, it's just really funny. And since we were playing a board game with our siblings, it was my turn at some point while we were doing the dishes. And at some point, like since I had my hands wet, she actually gave me a towel without even me having to ask. And it's like, oh yeah, thank you. And then like I just continued on with the game. So I feel like it's those unspoken things that someone can do for you really make the impact. And for me, something that I've done for my friends or for my loved ones is when we are in a group setting, no matter how big or small our group setting is, it could be like two people or it could be even more than that, like what, 10 people walking around the streets. For me, one thing that I always do is I always try to look back if everyone is like doing well or if we have left someone behind, or just checking up on the other people that are with us or with me, so that everyone feels involved, included, and no one is being left behind. So yeah, I feel like that really makes a difference, especially if you are in a friend group.
Yeah, so I mean, when you're automatic and you're in sync like that with your friends, and you don't have to say anything, they see you with a wet hand, they just throw a towel to you. I know it's nice that there's a natural, if there's like a mental emotional awareness link that you have, because you're just so in sync that it's kindness, automated kindness, that you just kind of are working together in that kind of pattern. And you, like, when you acknowledge it, it's like, whoa, what's going on, and everything just kind of works out together. So, for me, to answer the question about, some the simple act of kindness, that's one of the things I like about IT is, and I've been working in the IT career field for about more than 15 years now. And usually the career field starts off with working at help desks, someone asking you, can you help me print something? Can you help me? My computer won't turn on, things of that nature. And then over the years, I've progressed in my career. But fast forward to now, I wanted to go back to the help desk for the simple fact that customers respond so thankfully and with much appreciation for the most simple tasks that may seem simple to me, but as someone who doesn't use a computer, for the other side, you help them print a document that they can then go to some kind of, let's say, a government office, and then they can proceed to move to another country, or they can proceed to purchase a car, or they can proceed to submit the document needed so that their children can go to college. So things like that. Of For me, as a guy who fixes computers on a daily basis, what's really on my mind through the day is, when's lunch? When is my next break? What are we gonna eat for lunch? But as I'm resolving these tickets here and there, I'm helping someone return to their their computer that they need to perform their job, that they need to print something so important that they can then move on to a better life, to another country, to buy a car, or whatever it is they need to use a computer for. And that's something I sometimes forget in the IT field of why I joined in the first place, is when you are able to resolve someone's problem. I love solving problems, and when you're able to solve someone's problem, they can then proceed with what they're trying to accomplish, and in whether it be just trying to submit their homework, for college students out there. I can't print, it's not working. They call the help desk. Oh, thank you so much. I can print my document. I can submit. I can graduate. I can finish my degree. No, those small things that it's my job to be kind, yes, but it's a simple act of restoring someone's ability to do something so simple. I sometimes forget that there's an impact, that when you help someone resolve a problem like that, then they can proceed to the next part of their life. Right, Jay? Doesn't IT enough to to understand what I'm talking about?
I get that a lot from my parents. My parents call me all the time. Oh, how do I print this? Oh, how do I save this PDF? And I can't find this email. So definitely, it's so true that when someone can rely on you, even though it's a simple thing that to you it's nothing. To you, you know that, and it's almost like, yes, you can do it blindfolded or half asleep, but for them it's like the most important thing. And you're like the lifesaver when it comes to that situation, because you've got the skills for it. So it's nice, again, right? Like when you are able to extend like the gifts that you've been given, the knowledge that you've acquired, and help somebody else with that, and they show their appreciation and they're so grateful for it, it makes such a big difference, even though to you it's nothing. It's like so small, right? We've got a lot of comments as well from our Ohana there in live chat. Let's get Bell. Maybe we can read a few of these comments because I really like a lot of them.
We have here Zenaida saying a couple times I offered my seats in the bus to seniors, pregnant, and kids, and them acknowledging makes a big impact. And Stanley Amandi said here a recent act of kindness lately. We had an elderly customer at my work, and I helped her with carrying bags. And she was so grateful for the help and invited me for dinner. Oh, that's really nice. And he also said here, shout out to my friends who helped for their acts of kindness when they helped me during my time of need. And he said here that he recently had a back injury. So hopefully you're doing okay, Stan. And he said here, I appreciate them with all my heart. Thank you for sharing that. And here Rachel said, CMDPS, or the Christian Medical Dental Paramedical Society, in the Iglesia de Cristo, there was a medical mission blood pressure and blood sugar monthly checkup with the team Heidelberg nurses. And she said also here that she loves making a meal for her friends. And recently, her coworker treated her a cup of coffee when she really needed it without her having to ask anything in return. And Rachel, in return, made a dish or dessert to share with her workmates. So that's really great. And it's just really nice that you can also, use your career expertise to really help out other people, even not uh, in your line of work in that very context. But that's really great. So thank you for sharing that as well, Rachel. We have here Carolyn Shank saying upcoming act of act of kindness. A young pregnant fellow choir member is craving Filipino dishes, so I will cook for her this weekend. Oh, that's really nice. What Filipino dish was she craving for? Let us know, Carolyn. We also have here John saying the brethren in Heidelberg's a simple act of kindness is that they always ask if I have eaten, and make sure I have food right after performing our duties at church. Simple but best feeling. Oh, that's really nice. It reminds me of, when, like, I don't know if it's a Filipino culture thing, but like when the titas or titos are like, oh, kumain ka na anak, or like, have you eaten? I feel like that's a really that's a really uh, relatable feeling, John. But yes, we also have here Ivan Riz Kiloy saying greetings from the local congregation of Portsmouth Ecclesiastical District of Britain South.
I mean, there's been so many. I love all those examples and what our viewers, our Ohana there in live chat are sharing with us. So it's true, right? Like the simple acts of kindness, the little things, they make a big difference. So why do you think that? Why do you think simple help can sometimes feel more powerful than big help, right? Or something that has been scheduled. It's like, oh, help me move the couch, or help me, do this big thing, or move house, right? Why do you think like the simple things like that, like what our Hana shared and what we've been sharing here, why do you think that has such a big impact? Um, any ideas on that, Belle? Since you were talking about the whole hand washing thing.
uh, I feel like the small, simple things, they are sometimes overlooked because sometimes you think about the bigger picture that you forget the small steps to get there, you know? And sometimes those small steps help you get the bigger picture in a more efficient way, right? So
Mm.
I feel like that's why the simple yet so impactful things make the difference. um, for example, um, how do you call it, if you are so accustomed to doing something in your own way, and someone in your own way, and sometimes you do struggle and someone just lends you a hand, and you're like, oh, where have you been all my life? That really makes a difference. And it might sound dramatic, but sometimes, the environment that you're in, or the people that you're surrounded with, that also determines like what you're accustomed to in terms of, acts of kindness. So if you feel like there isn't much kindness going around, maybe be the first one to be kind. Try to be the first one to, smile at others. But for me, like, simple things do matter, and they really do make the difference, though, because without those simple things, you won't be able to plan the bigger things.
That's true. I like that. It's like the details, the importance of paying attention to the details, right? The little things make up. There's a lot of little things when it comes to big things. But Henry, like for you, like since your wife has shared, Rachel has shared a few there in our live chat. Like, what's your thoughts on it? Why do you think the simple help can make such a big difference in people's lives?
And so I think that what's the simplest type of help is when you are just being yourself and you
Mm,
are
yeah.
so unique to the people around you that the presence that you have of what you bring into a group of people, uh, that let's just say you're naturally the happy guy, you're the funny guy, you're the one who just lightens the mood, because sometimes they can be a, let's say they just had a conversation with a much more a darker tone. Something was it was a serious conversation, and then all of a sudden you're the big bright ball of sunshine that just walks into the room. You naturally being yourself, and you say something funny. You change the tone of the conversation. You change the tone of everyone's perspective. Everyone's no longer frowning in that serious face. They're all smiling. They're all, you took them out of that situation, and maybe it was a moment of a conversation of grief or sorrow, but now they're smiling, and you were that person just being yourself to remind them that there are, like, we just have to keep on smiling, we just have to keep on going, we just have to always look and realize that the sun is always shining. And that sounds, they're all rhyming and everything what I'm saying, but I mean, it's just that when, even when people ask you for help, whether it be, they want, people always want to smile, people always want to be happier. So when you provide that level of joy to just be who you are, you're naturally a funny person, you tell them a joke, and it's it's big, really. And someone's trying to overcome grief, sorrow, they had a bad grade on a test paper, they they had a flat tire and they just repaired their tire because it's late at night, and then all of a sudden your presence just is all the difference to remind them that, tomorrow's another day and we can get through this together. Being who you are sometimes can be the most simplest way to be the biggest difference in somebody else's life, especially if we come at the right time.
I like that. It's so true, right? Like the importance of your presence makes a big difference, right? And the simple things that you can do makes a big difference, especially when someone else, the one that you're giving it to, your time to, because that's what it is, really, right? Anything that you do when you're helping someone, you're giving them your time. They always say time is precious, right? So whatever time that you give to somebody else, whether that is to help them or whether it's just to sit with them and be there with them, right? It makes such a huge difference. And simple help is that it's personal, it's genuine. You don't have to think too much. You don't have to schedule it because you're moving something big, right? It's something that you can do on the spot and spontaneously. It's a spontaneous help that you can give to somebody else, and it becomes a personal act that doesn't mean that you're doing it so that they can pay you back, right? Or that they can help you with something else. It's just like it's something nice that you do for someone, and that's what we do, right? Especially as Christians, we're all about showing kindness to the people around us, and being a good example when it comes to even a small smile makes a huge difference. Or for me, I like to always make light of situations, try to find punny jokes in puns, right? And things like that. So it always makes a difference, especially to you don't know what people are going through. And if you can make them smile, if you make them feel seen, feel heard, or just be with them so that they're not alone, it makes a difference. So even like that. So I can see a few more comments there. Let's read a few of them. So Belle, if you could read through just a couple of those comments that's coming in from our Ohana, and then we'll take another quick break before we get into the next part of our discussion.
Joshua Rubik said here, when you make a simple uh help, it makes a big help easier. uh it says, yeah, oh sorry. But yes, I feel like, yeah, it does make the difference. Mario Calvillo said here, a simple focused act of help can be easier for both the giver and receiver to understand, and creating a shared purpose. And that's true. Sometimes, sharing, um like, um not sharing the, like, it's not really a burden, but sharing the task really makes it easier in general. Rachel Innocentia said here, it makes it more meaningful, and you learn to appreciate what you have. And she said, a simple smile can be contagious and brighten someone's day, especially when they needed it. And Zenaida and Sarah said here, because they triggered the ripple effect, where one act inspires others to be kind in return. And John here said, simple acts of kindness are mostly offered and not asked, so it has a bigger impact to someone. That feeling that someone is looking out for you, and that's true. Thank you, John, for that. Stan said here, um, simple decisions can make big a big and huge impact to a person or to a group of people. And Rodka Hayek shared here an acronym: simple. Simple is more powerful, loving, easily. And Stanley also shared here an acronym: helping, elevating, love and people in never-ending gratitude. And Marco Bello says, simple acts of help build a foundation of confidence and connection needed to tackle bigger challenges. And with that said, we will now go on to our next musical break, and we will play for you each day. We'll be right back.
Every morning I will say a prayer that each day I have the chance to share my faith with everyone around me, that they may know your mercy. May every work that I'll do each day honor you and give you highest praise. For I love you, and for you I live each day. You're the one I adore. You're the one who made my life more meaningful. Through my faith, you're the one whom I love, and so I'll never stop speaking of how I am saved. Da, 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 da. Every moment with each chance it brings is a blessing. Oh, to share my faith, for I love you, and I want the world to know you. And I'll strive to brightly shine each day, and to stay true to my calling, my faith. As a member of the Church of Christ, you're the one
So we talked about, how helping others might seem difficult and the simple ways to help others as well. We've tackled a lot of experience, we've shared a lot of experience so far. So, simple help is great. And help in general is really great, especially if it's genuine towards someone. But how do you make um, being able to help others a habit, a lifestyle, and not just a once in a while or once in a lifetime thing? How does helping others with simplicity and joy reflect it? Um, Especially with our faith and values. So how do you make it a habit, and how do we reflect our values and our faith when it comes to helping others? Jay.
Oh, so I mean, when it comes to our faith, we know as Christians, right, we're always taught about the importance of helping those who are in need, helping our fellow man, but most importantly, loving our neighbors, right, like how we love ourselves. That's why it's important that you look after yourself as well. So overall, actions speak louder than words. So you don't just say that you're a good Christian and that you're kind and all of that. You show it, right? You show it in however way you can, in the what simple way that you're able to other people, especially to those who need it. That's what we do as Christians. It shows our faith. It shows our values, especially when you want to help someone that's going through a difficult situation and you just do it without being asked, right? It shows the values that you grow up with when you apply it. I think application is the most um, sincere way to prove that you are what you say you are, right? To show your integrity is that you do it. And it's not to do it so that people will owe you something or pay you back in the future. It's like, oh, if I help them, they'll help me when I need help, right? It's about just giving without expecting to receive something back, right? So it comes from a place of love. It's like if you think about love, when it comes to love, for we have as a parent to their children, children to their parents, or even the love that we share to our family, our friends, right? There's a certain type of love and care and concern that we have for them. You do things because you want to. You do things because it's important for you, right? To be able to extend help to somebody else. So action is important, and it applies. It shows that what we say, who we are, and what we are as a person, as a Christian, is true. And we're not just saying it just to say it. We're actually doing it, and we're actually living that life. But yeah, that's what I think. But Henry, what about you? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as Christians, we put into practice what the teachings we receive on a daily basis, and when you're able to establish that type of perfect faith, then you're all the more, it pleases God to always want to always increase in our faith. And I'm seeing some of the comments coming in. Have to have that unconditional love to your fellow men and your fellow members of the Church of Christ. That there's always going to be sacrifice in helping one another. Time is something you can never gain back. Um, so there's two types of help that I think that we discussed today is those simple types of help that is being who you are, who you naturally are, and more so as Christians, when you are who you are, just being present in a given environment, you become the light of that environment. You're shining, providing a nice bright space for everyone to see, because you don't know what dark situation they're in. And it doesn't take much. It's a simple act of just being present and being there. And then there are those situations which are a little bit more uh, consuming, that takes up time, that takes up effort, it takes up your own energy, that in your schedule of planning throughout the day, there is no line in there at 10 o'clock, someone's going to ask me for help and I'm going to respond. It will just come to you at a moment you don't expect, where someone I'm in a situation. Can you please help me out of this situation? Can you pick me up? Or what do I do with this document? How do I fill this out? Things of that nature that requires a little bit of extra time, and that those, whether it be simple or not so simple, that it's within us to help our neighbor, help someone else, to help our loved ones, to help, just ultimately to just help. we're all helping each other, and the more that we help each other in that perpetual motion of love and concern, like Kuya John said earlier, just by asking someone, "Did you eat? Can you go eat?" Someone's looking out for me. Someone's checking to see if I'm taking care of myself, because they see me walking back and forth so busy that maybe I did forget to eat, and you really did remind me to take care of myself while I'm performing my duty. So I thank you for watching out for me. Thank you for uh, reminding me of something so basic, but I got so busy. And so when you are united in that way, but in faith and love and concern for one another, then we're all helping each other, working together, and everything is going to be okay, because you can expect the help from those who are around you. Would you agree with that, Belle?
Yeah, and I also agree with the fact that you mentioned that just be yourself, your genuine self, and you know, that really goes to show that uh, as Christians, we should always strive to be better. We always should strive for perfection. And with that said, we mentioned earlier to fill up our own cup first before serving others, right? And that goes to show that the verse that says. Love one another as much as love your neighbors as much as you love yourself. So that really goes to show that you need to have that love within yourself first, so that you can give even more to others and share that with others. But with that said, how can you make uh, such um such a genuine and kind um, help uh, more consistent, more um more available to others on a daily basis, Jay?
A quick one for me would be basically pay attention to how you can help someone without being asked, right? Whatever way it is. That's why even like a simple hello, a simple smile, and asking how are you, eye contact, making them feel present. Like that's a simple thing, but there's so much occasions in life where it gets missed because everyone is so busy and everyone's so flustered with deadlines and schedules and appointments and all of these things that you forget to make eye contact and you get to say hello and smile to somebody else. So I think just intentionally finding opportunities to just put a smile on somebody's face is already the starting point. The starting point of you building a habit of helping someone. Because that's kind of like where it starts. It's you wanting to do something kind for somebody else. So you notice the little things. It's very, very important. Whether it's a smile or just a hello or even like a short message or even just a coffee to catch up with someone. It's nice to think of ways on how I can make this person's life a little bit brighter. Because that's what we do, right? How can we make it a little bit more bearable? And good company is always good. So that's why it's nice to do it for the people that we care about, the people that we love.
Yeah, consideration is really important when it comes to that, so that you'll be able to, help out in a more automatic way, if that makes sense. It's not that we try to show off that we're helping out. It's just to be genuinely more helpful. I like that. And um, Henry, what about you? Do you have anything else to add to that?
So I think everyone brings something unique into this world, uh, especially those who have offices or duties. Is that you're individually called to provide some type of service to others, and you are unique. You have your own story, you've been through your own experiences, you've learned things that maybe someone else has never experienced yet, and you bring that knowledge, that wisdom, to whoever you are around. And so whenever you're able to provide that to someone by means of being empathetic, to be understanding, to make someone smile, to fix their computer, to teach them how to print a document, to tell them how to play that guitar, just like in Belle's background there. I mean, it's you're providing something of value to someone. If you can share one thing to anyone at any time whether it be knowledge, wisdom, and just like one of our comments there from Paul Jacob Aresi, by sharing your faith with them, you have something to offer to someone every day. And if you can make that in your planner, write it down, do something nice for someone today, or just make it naturally as a part of who you are as a person, to provide of some level of service, a knowledge nugget, a wisdom, good advice to your children, that can be a daily habit to provide value to someone's day, someone who might really need it, someone who needs to, they might be at that rock bottom situation. We're not sure, but if we are, we are in a state of readiness, your battery's fully charged, and you can help someone to charge their battery, then we're helping someone to find their footing, to get back on their feet. And we're all in a good place to even help others as collectively, to find more people who need our help. And that's just basically, sharing our faith and sharing who we are as Christians.
I feel like, with that said, it really goes to show that as Christians, we should always be the first ones to, you know, to help one another. And we are, we have been taught that we are the lights of this world, right? So if we find, if we find ourselves in an environment where, you know, the 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 people are snobbish, or not everyone makes eye contact or smiles, be the first one to do that. And maybe, by the end of the week, everyone is saying hi to one another, and it just flips the situation. So yes, we should always remember that, um, we are the light in this world. And I can see there are a few other people. um, John here said, when you find joy in helping others, it becomes you and becomes a habit. And that's real. That's true, because, um, that genuine happiness that you feel within yourself, you want to share with other people, right? And those people who receive that happiness will also want to share it with other people. So, once you see that ripple effect, and also how, happy it makes others, then that's how you know that you're doing something good. And thank you for that, John. And also here, Rachel said, practicing kindness and helping others on a daily basis. And that's true as well. We should always, I mean, we've talked about, the nonverbal, um, helping, um, uh, types of help. Sorry, if that makes sense. The nonverbal, moments where you're able to lend a hand. I mean, those are nice because you don't have to ask for it. But sometimes even communicating what you need, uh, and getting the help after you've communicated it, that is also something to be appreciated, because, they've heard you, and, they still delivered. So that also is something, to, keep in mind. With that said, um, Henry, what do we have now?
And so, first of all, thank you to everyone who for sharing their comments and providing feedback to the questions that we've been asking. So, and one of the, as we when we care for our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, we're better able to serve others with joy. God calls us to give with love, not out of pressure, and to reflect His kindness in our everyday actions. And that, that leads us to our verse of the week, to remind us that we should always be doing good, we should always be kind, always be helping one another. So let's transition on to our verse of the week, entitled Do Good for God.
Hello, everyone. If you've been feeling discouraged, perhaps even frustrated with what's happening or going on in the world, here's a Bible verse that teaches us what we should focus our time and energy on. Let's read here in the book of Matthew. The chapter is 5, and the verses are 14 and also 16. You are the light that gives light to the world. A city that is built on a hill cannot be hidden. You should be a light for other people. Live so that people will see the good things you do. Live so that people will praise your Father in heaven. Do you see? God's goal is for all people to praise Him. So, as lights or Church of Christ members, we should be kind to others by doing what is good, in other words, following God's commandments, despite the problems and chaos that's happening around us. And hopefully, as we do good to others, or through our good works, we can inspire other people to learn more about the Church of Christ and join us in the true worship of our Lord God. To our friends, we invite you, study with us here in the Church of Christ and get to know how serving our God can give purpose to your life. We hope that this Bible verse today has brought you joy and inspiration. Stay safe, stay strong, and stay faithful. God bless.
And thank you to Brother Jeff DeGia for that inspiring message to take with us for the week ahead. And this was a great start for us this week to always remind us that we can help each other. Others definitely do need our help, and sometimes they may not ask. And if we watch out for each other, this is part of God's love to us all as we all take care of one another. So we've come to the part of our show where unfortunately we have to start to say bye to one another. But the show will go on for the rest of the week. We're just beginning the week, so there's a lot more Faith and Melody. But before we end our broadcast today, let's say our quick shout out, starting with Belle.
I would like to greet everyone who was able to join us today, Henry and Jay for being here as well. And I would also like to greet my family, my mom, Ate Erica, Arian, Sam Sam, and Dandan. And yes, that's it for me. Thank you.
All right, and next, Jay, who would you like to shout out?
I want to shout out Henry and Bell and Kuya Pong as well for always, uh, helping out in the show and everything that we do. But of course, all of our family, there are Ohana in live chat. Thank you so much for everyone. There's so many names to read out. I can see it in front of me. So I don't want to miss anyone, but you know who you are. You're always there. You're always commenting. You're always sharing your insights. So we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here because we're all learning from each other. So we always love and look forward to seeing you every time here on Faith and Melody. Shout out to my wife, Jem, and to our daughter, Lena, and to everyone that participated in our broadcast today. Thank you.
Uh, as always, I'd like to shout out my wife and my children who are no more than a few feet away from me, always supporting me in every broadcast that we have, whether it be on Sundays for Central Europe Connections, which always airs at 2 o'clock in the morning Philippine time on Monday Philippine time. And shout out to all of those from my family in District of Central Europe who always tuning in on both Sundays and Mondays to make that Faith and Melody part of your dinner routine, or as you're driving home from your work, you make it a point to be part of the conversation and contribute your answers so that we all learn from each other. Every time we have a topic conversation such as this, you're always able to share your experiences, share your insight. And we are always definitely appreciative that Faith and Melody is a part of your life now. And we hope that everything that we do, everything that we say, everything that we discuss edifies you in your faith. And for all those who are not members of the church, we always hope that you find value in what you are learning with us. And if you have any more questions, always ask someone who you may know who is a member of the Church of Christ, and they will be definitely be glad to share our faith with you even more. So once again, thank you to everyone for joining us. And as we conclude, I am Henry from Germany.
And I'm Jay from Australia.
And I'm Belle from the United Kingdom. And we have been your hosts for today. We hope that today's episode has given you a positive start for the week ahead. And to close off our show, we'll be listening to Halika na, kaibigan. And join us again for the rest of the week on the next episode of Faith MLD. Take care, everyone, and thank you so much for your support. See you soon.
Aloha.
Bye. Have a great week. Thank you, Kuya Pong.
Happy Monday.
Alam kong nais mong makamtan ang pangako ng Ama, kaya ang aral niya ngayon iyong pakinggan. Siya na may handang magpatawad sa lahat ng iyong sala. Di pa huli, sa'yo siyang naghihintay. Halina kaibigan, sa daan ng kaligtasan, makasama nating tuparin ang ating tungkulin. Ang ating mga ay puno ng pag-ibig. Tayo'y kanyang minamahal, kaya tayo'y magbago buhay na. Alam kong nais mong tumahan sa pangako niyang bayan.